And welcome inside the Backstage Pass. Always busy. And of course, more shows coming up this week until Friday. And next week, we are off. We're not doing any shows next week. A little bit of a vacation here on the show after Nashville and, of course, Country Radio Seminar 2024. Still riding high on that, too. And the Show Dog and Friends, the benefit for Toby Keith out there. If you're listening out there, hightidecountry.net and our friends at KKTC True Country 99.9. We appreciate you guys. And a special treat today. She's got a little bit of love going on out there too with this album. I love it. Denielle Bassels joining us here on the show. Miss Danielle, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
It's
Thanks
good.
for having me.
I'm catching
Yeah.
up on my rest from last week's chaos, which was good chaos, and then kind of
Yeah.
sleeping in a little bit here and there, doing some shows, and really enjoying the day. So it's
Sounds beautiful. We're getting good weather too. Yeah.
yeah, it's in the 80s down here in Texas where I'm at now. It's crazy how just the spring is now sprung, and I guess the groundhog figured it out when it was going to turn the calendar. So March, here it is, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a nice El Nino. Let's hope it continues though. Yeah.
Yeah, we just got through the shortest month of the year, no doubt, for the leap year that it is, too. But, hey, I want to get a little bit of your background, especially for the listeners out there, too, on the stations that play my show. You mentioned before you had a little bit of that country influence growing up there, too. Tell us about that and maybe
Right.
who you were listening to and kind of how it shaped your music.
So I guess I started out with Shania Twain. Shania Twain was
Okay.
my introduction to the world of country, and Dolly Parton, of course, Patsy Cline. Um, I like good music,
Mm-hmm.
so I like the voices that I heard, and I copied everything that I heard. And every time I heard a new artist, I had to know who it was. And just the storytelling way of the music is what I'm really drawn to, like telling the story and creating the scene.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's one of the reasons why I need to get down to Nashville, is because I can't wait to start entering the scene and meeting people and starting to do all the songwriting, just stretching the skill.
That's the best part about that town. I can't tell you how much I love. There's so much talent, Danielle, in there too. The people we met last week for the big radio seminar, everything was just on point, from singer to songwriters to managers to record labels to great publicists who were down there, and everybody who was anybody was like lined up. And I mean, we had a line out the door at the fundraiser thing too, at some of the bars and the clubs. That town is magic. And when you get there, trust me, you're going to fall in love with what that city has to offer.
I trust that. I totally am looking forward to.
That's a great sound too. Uh, your album, let's dive into it, especially a little bit of love too with the soundtrack. I'm curious to know a lot of the backstory, how this project came together, who you worked with, the songwriting. I mean, just everything, because I really feel like it's one of the best albums I've heard in quite some time.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for saying that. Um, I basically just a lot of it was written over the pandemic, in
Mm-hmm.
times of isolation, and just having a chance to kind of resurrect the past, because not a lot was happening at that time in people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was a time for reflection and looking back, and having conversations with, people, my friends and family, and realizing that a lot of my real stories, of real parts of my life, have not been included in the music, and might even have been, maybe overlooked or
Mm-hmm.
ignored, for reasons of maybe shame at the some mistakes that I might have made, and maybe guilt for things that have happened. And as I reflected more, I realized that overcoming those things and getting through those periods of my life, they all, at the heart of those stories, was a little bit of love, from maybe a homeless person buying me a cup of coffee because he really needed the conversation,
Mm-hmm.
and it changed both our lives. Maybe a little bit of love for myself, realizing I don't need to be in this situation. I love myself enough to get out of it and move on. And a lot of love maybe from, somebody in the church that was willing to give their Wednesdays to me,
Mm-hmm.
until I got everything sorted. So the theme started to unravel as these stories were being relooked at.
And that's the important part of music so much, no matter where it comes from or what genre. The ability to tell stories. Talk about that just in a kind of a nutshell. How important that is when a song gets pitched to you, or you're writing your own material, telling the story and delivering it through a performance? How important is that?
To me, it's of the utmost importance because I think that's what brings us all together. We may have our own experiences and our own mountains that we've climbed and conquered, but in essence, we're all sharing very similar stories. So if you can tell the story and have it connect, it might enter somebody else's story and help them make sense of their own situation. That's what the beauty is of music. It brings people together.
You have one off that record called Big Bad. I love the title. Big Bad Wolf. Makes me think of just a cool song and a cool vibe. Tell the folks in the audience a little bit about that one, how it came together.
So that was a retrospect.
Mm-hmm.
That was like, I was, you're in a relationship for 4 years and you realize that, that it hasn't been so good. And maybe you've been used a little and abused a little, and you're young and you don't have the wherewithal to realize really what's going on. And so it progresses in the album. So it goes from that love that you feel that's an adventure and getting into trouble and it's adventurous. And then you realize, okay, now it's been 4 years and this is definitely worse. And then the heartbreak that goes along with that, which was the song Gone. And then Big Bad Wolf was oh, wait, yeah, I've really learned from this. I've wisened up and now I know who I am and I know what I'm looking for. And I'm never going down that road again.
I love that too. It's a great song off a great record too. We got to take a time out here, pay some bills too, because if we don't do that, we don't stay on the air. That's just the way it goes here. Still need an answer to the trivia question there. Who founded Motown Records? If you get it right, you win the trip of your choice there. You just pay the taxes and fees on the hotel. So who founded Motown Records, courtesy of our friends over at Lady TLC's travel agency out there too, based out of New York. And of course here, if you want to buy Denielle some jewelry, well, I tell you what, there's one place to do it here. Friends, family member jewelry by Tommy, handcrafted, handmade. It's got you covered. Email burleysystem@yahoo.com today to order and get it in. Like I said, it's good stuff out there. Handcrafted, handmade. It's jewelry by Tommy. I'm sure Denielle wears some bling out there too. So get you some, get her some.
For the Junos.
Well, the Junos are coming up. We're going to talk about that after the break. She got nominated for a Juno Award, which is coming up March the 24th, which is a pristine honor for Canada out there too. Quick timeout. More to come here. Thanks to our sponsors, KKTC, True Country 99.9, and our friends at HighTideCountry.net. Stay tuned.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
The Caden Gordon Show, today's best country mix, is a 2-hour show playing independent and mainstream country music you know and love. Be sure to check it out at thecadengordonshow.com for more information on the show.
Ever thought about owning your own business? Tanya Lapsley-Cockett did. She decided a little over 5 years ago that she was going to be an entrepreneur, so she started her travel business. Tanya is married and works a full-time job. Her business has given her amazing opportunities. Not only does she get to help people create memories by booking their vacations, sporting and entertainment tickets, rental cars, etc., but it has also allowed her to help other families create legacy income. The travel industry is extremely lucrative and is an $8 trillion industry. The travel industry is projected to earn in excess of $15 trillion over the next 10 years. The travel industry pays its professionals up to 70 to 80% commission on the travel that they book for themselves and their clients. As a travel business owner, Tanya books travel and teaches others how to own and operate their own travel business. She is a director in training on the marketing side of her business, where she has helped over 90 families start their own businesses. If you're interested in owning your own travel business, please contact Tanya at 917-743-1199 or at ladytlc3555@me.com.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And back here too, Denielle Bassels joining us here. A little bit of love she's sharing with us today. Of course, the album out there across all the streaming platforms. And of course, we're out there streaming Oklahoma. Again, hightidecountry.net and our friends KKTC True Country 99.9. Good stuff last week. Country Radio Seminar 2024. And now trying to prep for CMA Fest coming up in June, which is another big event that Nashville does, and they do their fair share of them out there. Again, thanks to the sponsors, Lady TLC's travel agency, who founded Motown Records. If we don't get a winner, we'll just do it tomorrow. Got a couple shows tomorrow and a couple on Friday. We'll give away a trip, your choice of where you want to go. You just pay the taxes and fees on the hotel. Plus, you can also help out with our friend Tanya booking a rental car, an excursion, or more importantly, flight to get there. You might want to have that too as well. A little bit of love out there too, who founded Motown Records. And of course, good friend out there. Give me an answer in the comment box when we get off the air. We'll do it. Hey, I loved Denielle, the title track. I thought it was just a great way to set the tone for the album too. But I thought the song Gone really kind of hit me in a way that others may not to resonate with and be close to something like that too. What was the little backstory of Gone for that record?
Oh, Gone had a it was sort of a saga writing that one, and it started with the piano. I was learning a lot of piano at that time, and it was the first song that I wrote on piano to start with, even though it's not featured in the album. And that was a lot of digging. It was a hard song to write, and it just wouldn't come together. Like, I couldn't get the story out. I couldn't get how I wanted it. And I finally was just like, the person that I was with, he's gone. Like, he died. And it was about that. And just it's okay. Yeah, it's fine. It's been a while. He's okay. He's probably in a better place. And I just was like, come on, I know it was hard, but I got to get this out. Can you help me? And I found that everything just started coming. And then I hooked up with Drew Jureka, who is the violin player that did the violins and arrangements on the piece. He was also Grammy nominated for his work with Dua Lipa. And he lives here in Toronto. And when he put the violins on the track, it just did everything that I had envisioned it doing, and then some. And it really just came together and really supported what the song was about and what it meant, and really got that message across.
You know, and that's what, again, that instrumentation, that going in there, the production of it in a studio, great people, great minds think alike. When you get the best out there to just bring an album to life, it really was. And that particular song really, to me, was fantastic. Got to talk about some hardware that I want you to bring home too, because the Juno Awards are coming up March 24th, which is our kind of version of the Grammys, which is like here in the States. I was talking to one of my country buddies at CRS, and he was talking about just a lot of cool things about it and told me a lot of good insight. Brett Kissel was out there too, across, hanging out with us there at Country Radio Seminar. And first of all, just congratulations on the nomination. Second of all,
thank you.
Tell people the categories, how excited you were when you got the news, and are you going to bring home the hardware in your category?
Yeah, you bet.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring an extra bag.
Okay, all right. Make sure you bring that travel bag too, to put that trophy in that travel bag.
Definitely, special bag for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it was quite a shock. I remember just we were talking to my friend. I live near another friend of mine. She's in the same category, not for this round of Junos. Her she's a jazz singer like me, and we were just talking about how hard it's been, and it's hard getting recognized for your work, and just like, should we keep doing this? And we have those waves. Should we keep doing it? Should we keep going? Yes, we have to, because we're artists and it's just a part of us. And then, yeah, like a week later, I got a call I thought it was a creditor. So I'm like, hello. And then I heard, it's the Junos, and we're, inviting you to the red carpet. And I was like, oh, hi. And just like the waiting to see if that meant something. Sometimes it doesn't. So that was grueling for about 8 days. And then when I saw that I had a nomination, it was just so exciting. So it's in the vocal jazz album of the year category.
I love it too. Hope you really bring home the hardware too. And yeah, we're full the next few weeks. We're flooded with great Canadian artists who were nominated in their respective categories, because we're doing a lot of cool shows, just like yourself, and artists who are doing that until March 24th. So it was a blitz put on, and man, they're doing it now. This is kind of a cool thing, is I always look at records and I find interesting titles. And I just talked to my buddy who came on right before you two, a country artist too, just had a great title for a song. And I'm going to throw it out there too for the people that may not have heard this record too, especially in that market. Fluffy, the Abandoned Cotton Ball. Now this has got to have a good story with this, right?
I wasn't 100% sober when we were.
I love that. She's honest. She is honest.
No, I wasn't the opposite either, but I'm just saying 100%, wasn't 100%. But no, it was just a song that just kind of came out. I had my ukulele. I was just like looking out into the night on the street. And it was one of those songs that you just pull from the skies, that doesn't usually happen that way. I find songs for me like a puzzle. And this one was kind of like, it felt like a gift. And it was just that feeling, just being all alone. And I just transferred it to Fluffy. I just kind of put myself away from this situation and gave it to Fluffy so that I could unravel all those feelings, let Fluffy feel those feelings. But I think we can all of us relate to Fluffy in life a lot of the times. And that's why I didn't change the title.
Well,
it was a working title.
That's a cool thing. It's a working title, and it can be changed before it hits the record too. This was kind of cool too, because off the record, I thought this was cool too. Pooter and Significo. Now this was, I love your spin on it too. It's the second song on the record, and people get to listen to it behind the title track, A Little Bit of Love. Tell us all about this. I'm curious to hear this too.
Again, working title. This one was written with my friend Mike Matheson, who written a lot of songs with me, especially on the first album, What About Wishbags, which was another working title. So before the pandemic, we were living together and we were best friends. And we wrote all these songs together. We would just have a session, and he didn't, on this one, he didn't know how to play any instruments, but he picked up my ukulele and just played a couple chords. And then this song started coming out, and we thought of these people, Pooter and Significo, who are just on this amazing adventure. They've stolen this big prize. So like a gold miner's egg, like his biggest piece of gold. And they're running away on this adventure, and they're being chased. They're going to get caught, but they don't care because they're in love and they're having fun, and they're young, and it's all about that summer, and knowing that at the end of the summer, they're going to be caught and they're going to be separated, but they're going to enjoy life while they can.
Well, they can. Making songs come to life too. I love that too as well. We got to take a time out. Still looking for that winner who founded Motown Records. If you want to comment on it too, feel free in the box. If not, we'll carry it over to tomorrow with a couple of shows, and even into Friday too. We'll do another trivia question too. But who founded Motown Records? And that was a pretty easy one out there too at the same time. So if you guys get it right, win your trip to our friends at Lady TLC's travel agency out there. Call our friend Tanya. She'll take care of you, and you just pay the taxes and fees in the hotel. And of course, she can also help with booking a rental car, a flight, and an excursion to get there too while you stay in that very hotel there too. Quick timeout. More from Denielle Bassels here on the Backstage Pass. Hang tight.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass.
Ever thought about owning your own business? Tanya Lapsley-Cockett did. She decided a little over 5 years ago that she was going to be an entrepreneur, so she started her travel business. Tanya is married and works a full-time job. Her business has given her amazing opportunities. Not only does she get to help people create memories by booking their vacations, sporting and entertainment tickets, rental cars, etc., but it has also allowed her to help other families create legacy income. The travel industry is extremely lucrative and is an $8 trillion industry. The travel industry is projected to earn in excess of $15 trillion over the next 10 years. The travel industry pays its professionals up to 70 to 80% commission on the travel that they book for themselves and their clients. As a travel business owner, Tanya books travel and teaches others how to own and operate their own travel business. She is a director in training on the marketing side of her business, where she has helped over 90 families start their own businesses. If you're interested in owning your own travel business, please contact Tanya at 917-743-1199 or at ladytlc3555@me.com.
The Caden Gordon Show. Today's best country mix is a 2-hour show playing independent and mainstream country music you know and love. Be sure to check it out at thecadengordonshow.com for more information on the show.
And, of course, back here on the show, 2 more tomorrow, 2 more Friday. We'll take a week off. And then, of course, looking good for all the great CRS coverage we captured. You can hear it out there, KKTC True Country 99.9, and our friends at HighTideCountry.net, Facebook pages, everywhere you find podcasts. We're there. The Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And, of course, a little bit of love out there across all the streaming platforms from our guest, Denielle Bassels, today. And if you missed yesterday's interview with our good friend Brantley Gilbert, he's got a new tour, a new single coming out. Superstar in country music. Check it out there, the SportsGuysPodcast.com, for his tour kicking off this week. And Off the Rails comes out this week on Friday, March the 8th, and he's kicking off a big tour there. You know, I got to ask you about this one, Danielle, because I thought this was really cool. Looking at it, lady gazing. Let's get into this one off the record, too. That I really enjoyed listening to this.
Oh, I'm so glad you liked it. That one came about, it was about the transition that I made from Toronto to Switzerland. I was having a really hard time here, like a very bad time. Everything was going wrong, and it was a series of unfortunate events. And I ended up talking to a therapist in a church, and she said, I think you're pretty much done with Toronto. Maybe you should try to see what's going on overseas for you. And that night I was online and I found an au pair job. And I was in Lausanne, Switzerland 2 weeks later.
Wow.
And so after all the bad things that happened, it kind of felt like, Judy Garland opening the door to her house into Wonderland, like getting off the plane was like, whoa. And it was just a whole new scene. And I really got better there. And that's where I found music. So because the little boy that I looked after took jazz lessons drum lessons at a jazz school. And that's how it all started. And before I left, I had been given a guitar by our waitress at the cafe. And I was just saying I needed a guitar. And she's like, oh, I have one. You can take it. So it all started there. So the song was kind of about that amazing feeling of going from a crappy place to this unreal place where I could breathe for once.
Well, that's a cool story. And sometimes you got to go off, and you're right. You got to find yourself and come back. And I tell you that it reminds me of what I did with this brand, reinventing myself after doing radio for 15 years. And I had to go off and just do a different occupation, which I do now. And sitting there. I was missing something in my life. I was like, I miss doing this very thing right here after a 5-year break. And then 2019, didn't even realize what was going to hit the world. Nobody did at the time. I said, I'm going to go off and just reinvent it, learn about it, read books, do things, figure out how to put it on the air. And for the first 2 years, we did audio. And I think the third year we clipped it on video, and it just, it took off. You know, it was just a really cool thing to really, once you find that missing piece in your gut, life, it's that. Yeah.
Yeah. Like a leap of faith and focus. Like, that's cool. Yeah.
And now my focus is we just passed the 5-year mark of it and got it syndicated out there too. Love it. Numbers came back fantastic for High Tide Country. And of course our friends at KKTC. So it's just a cool feeling to know now with the team, you build a good team around you, you're going to go very far in what you, your craft and what you love to do out there too. Well, I got to finish up a little series of funny questions to do this. It's just kind of get to know you more on a personal basis, rapid fire. If it's not so rapid, we just call it that to put a name on it too as well. All right. Favorite TV shows to binge watch. What do you get into?
Oh my God. Favorite TV shows to binge watch. The Voice. I love watching The Voice.
I'm religious.
That's what I'm watching right now. Yeah.
Who's your favorite on there right now?
Right now? My favorite, I can't remember any of the singers. I can't remember any of the singers' name because it's only the 4th episode I think that I've watched. But I really like Chance, the rapper, being on this season.
He's good, and
of course Reba.
Oh yeah, I love Reba for country. You gotta love. Oh yeah, and then I think Dan and Shay for their first go around, they're doing pretty good for judges so far. I think so. I mean, I
feel like they got their first one today. They're slowly but surely kind of. Getting the best ones.
That's my go-to outlet to go. I say scout for new talent or watch it because I love that the shows give the artist the platform to stand on, from The Voice and American Idol. I think it's a great thing for the industry. And those shows, if they were not good, they would not be going for that length of amount of time. They're very good. They've been going for a lot of years, and people love them. All right. I've never been to Toronto, but I did go to the west side over Alberta and saw that province. And I've got to ask Elise too at the same time, your favorite food when I go to Toronto, what do I absolutely have to get to eat out?
Whoa, poutine.
Okay, well, haven't had it. We had it in Alberta, but I don't know if there's probably not meat, I guess. Different.
I like it better in Toronto. It's good in Montreal, but Toronto's got thicker fries. Thicker fries, thicker gravy, and more cheese.
I love that too. You can't have enough cheese on something there too as well. I love that. Any good pizza joints in your area up there? Pizza restaurants or bars?
Lots of pizza. Yeah, definitely. Pico. If you like the thin crust, Brooklyn pizza. I mean, we go with the Brooklyn pizza here. Lots of joints. Yeah.
I love that too. Good stuff right there. All right. When you step behind a microphone at any level in your music career, could be a cover, could be an original. What song came out? What'd you sing?
Sorry, repeat the question.
No, you're fine. When you step behind a microphone at any level of your music career, it could be a cover, could be an original. What song did you end up singing? The first song you ever sang in your musical career at any level?
Oh, the first song I ever sang live.
Yeah.
That was Busted Flat in Baton Rouge. What's that? It's
Oh, that's
for the train. What's that?
I can't.
Feeling Bobby McGee. Me and Bobby McGee.
Okay.
That was the first song.
Okay, I remember that one too. Yeah, I was just trying to think of it there for a second too. And like I said, you're singing it better than I can remember stuff right there too.
Janis Joplin.
Janis Joplin. Was it Janet? You said Janis Joplin?
Janis Joplin.
Yes.
Me and Bobby McGee.
I love that one too.
Yeah.
If you were not a musician, and you mentioned some other jobs to take to get this, we've all done those. What other like occupation would you be doing if you were not a musician or an artist right now?
I would say I'd probably be an artist of some sort, like maybe a painter or an illustrator, maybe an author, because I love to write.
Okay. Last good book you got into?
It's been a while. The 1,000 Doors of January.
Ooh.
That's the last book.
I think I might have to read
1,000 Doors.
Yeah. I have to read that too. Look that up and actually get that on my to-do read list, or make it the what's the thing called you use? The Amazon reader, whatever it is, the tablet or whatever you call that thing. So I may have to download it on that too. Or The books, get the hard copy and
Oh,
smell of the books.
yeah.
Give me the Denielle
Mhm.
Bassels writing process. When it comes to writing, what has to go in a song? What do you enjoy the most?
The story.
Okay.
But a lot of times it's the chord that strikes the story. So I'll play around on my ukulele or my piano and I'll hear or I'll feel a vibe and then I'll just sing towards it. Sometimes I don't even know what it is. So it'll be gobbledygook. Like I'll just like and then I'll make sense of the lyrics. That's the way I start. Once I'm
Mhm.
in it, maybe I can just say words and say the story. But generally, I like to start that way. And a lot of times when I'm out on the street, I'll just have a beat and I'll sing into my little recorder. And then I keep all those files so that when I'm ready to actually develop, I can go back in and pick the one that I'm vibing with the most, I
Mhm.
guess, and start to develop it and put all the puzzle pieces together.
Yeah, you never know when you have to pull from the archives to create or finish a song
Yeah.
when you get the hook and stuff like that too. So that's the cool part about it. Hey, best of luck with this Juno Award nomination. Love this album. A little bit of love across all the streaming
Thank you.
platforms. Appreciate you being here. Best of luck in bringing home the hardware. Let's do this again at some point down the road here in 2024. Hope you had a great experience.
I did. Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure, and thanks for having me, and all the best to you too.
Appreciate that. Denielle Bassels out there, a little bit of love across all the streaming platforms. Juno Awards coming up March 24th, and we're not done there. The next few weeks, we're flooded with some of the great artists and DJs and engineers. Hill Corcutis coming by,
Can't wait
and
for it.
so many more. It's going to be a fun time, as Brett Kissel told me last week in Nashville. There's nothing like that. Juno Awards coming up Sunday, March the 24th. We're back tomorrow for a couple of shows. Peyton Porter coming by, and of course, Friday we'll close it out with a couple of shows here at the end of the week. If you missed Brantley Gilbert, he was on yesterday. Go check him out. The Sports Guys podcast.com. And of course, out there, KKTC True Country 99.9. And our friends at HighTideCountry.net. They stream the show 7 days a week out there. We'll see you soon from all of us here at the Backstage Pass. Thank the sponsors. Take care and God bless.